mean one thing to me then. I wanted to go home. I met men that I didn't even think existed, but they planted a seed. And 7 years later, I was doing the same thing. But over here, I have a brief history of the Marine Corps. We were first Continental Marines. The Second Continental Congress said we would raise 2 battalions of Continental Marines, and they would serve aboard naval ships. Now, some of this stuff is legend. We don't know it for a fact. But officers wear on their cover the quatrefoil. It's that little design. Well, when the Marines were on the bottom deck and the snipers were on the top deck, the Marines on the bottom deck would have rope sewed on their hats. That's what they say. So that's where we get the quatrefoil. And so Continental Congress said we need somebody to be in charge of this group. So they picked and made him the rank of captain, Captain Samuel Nicholas. Is known as the first commandant of the Marine Corps. Now, I try to make this perfectly clear. There's the Continental Marines and there's the Marine Corps. But we are, all of us come from the Continental Marines.
And what year was that?
1777, I believe. 1777. I think it was 1777. Well, the captain, Nicholas, the Congress also appointed what we call the recruiter. And they also gave this gentleman the rank of captain also. He didn't make him feel bad. Captain Mullins is known as the first recruiter of the Marine Corps. Now, the story goes, Captain Mullins owned a tavern. Now, what better place to get men to join something, sitting around, drinking whatever they were drinking. And, next morning they wake up and they're in the Marines. Well, that's the way it is. Now, Tun Tavern, I'm sorry I didn't have a big picture. This is Tun Tavern, is the birthplace of the Marine Corps. That is tradition. We can't prove that, but we accept that what we heard and has been passed down through the years. Probably, more than likely, it's not. But we like to claim that it is. Well, Captain Nicholas went on the first amphibious landing that the Marine Corps made. We're famous for amphibious landings from ship to shore. He made it in the Bahamas. And it was successful. The British fort did not know nothing about them coming. And during that raid, they gathered guns, powder, and whatever other things they could need. Well, as the Marine Corps moves on, we know that the American Revolution didn't end overnight. It was a very long, drug out, whatever, to gain our independence. I think in 1787, I want to say, the British said they had enough, and we agree with them. And we had our independence from England. Now, the Marine Corps and the Navy was disbanded. For 13 years, this nation had no Navy, and I can't imagine, had no Marine Corps. Well, that would have been scary. But in 1798, Congress said, we're going to start the modern day Marine Corps. Now, we're no longer the Continental Marines. We're the modern day Marine Corps. What Marine Corps is it today? Modern day Marine Corps. So, the first commandant was Lieutenant Colonel Burroughs. I have a picture of him somewhere. These are the commandants. Later on, maybe you can come up and you can look at all these. But this is Captain Samuel Nicholas. This is Lieutenant Presley O'Bannon. Have any of you ever heard of Lieutenant Presley O'Bannon? Well, Presley O'Bannon, there was the banana or the pirates, I want to say it wasn't a banana, but it was the pirates of that era was giving everybody a hassle. Long story made short, Congress sent a few Marines to join up with the army in Egypt to march over to Tripoli to regain their priority or their control of the area and the Barbary pirates. And they were history. Now, Lieutenant Presley O'Bannon was awarded the Mameluke sword. Now, that's a very famous sword to Marines. The Marine Corps officers still carry that Mameluke sword today. Same Mameluke sword. It's their tradition. And to tell you the truth, it's a pretty sword. We enlisted people. We didn't get that pretty of a sword. We got the hand-me-down from the United States Army. And that came from, I think, the cavalry. But we're proud of that sword today. Man, I could whip that thing out, I could use it, I could salute, I could do, hey. But that's the history of the sword. So I just wanted to talk a little bit. And this is the Continental Marine. That's the uniform. And it's a sharp-looking uniform. You know, I'm sure the ladies liked it that day. But the next thing that I want to discuss, if I could please, and I'll discuss it briefly, if I can. Okinawa. Do you know that Okinawa is basically on the same category since I had that stroke? My words don't come out as good as they used to. But there was more ships that landed and played around Okinawa than D-Day. So this was a major, major battle. And the Army landed south of the island. The Marine Corps landed north of the island and walked all the way up to the tip of the southern island. No, not to the tip, but to the beginning of the southern island. And that's where it started. Oh, many deaths. What's real bad about Okinawa is civilians were killed for no reason. The Japanese had brainwashed, and they had told them that American Marines eat babies. And mothers were jumping off the cliffs with their children. And, but anyway, the Battle of Okinawa. Now, how many of you seen the movie Hacksaw Ridge? You seen the movie? Anybody else seen the movie? It was a very popular movie, I guess not. It was about a battle in Okinawa. It was a 400-foot cliff that the Army had to go up. And the Japanese were defending it. Now, this gentleman, I'll get his name out in just a few minutes. I don't have my glasses. But he was a person that the Army did not want. They were going to kick him out. They put him in jail. They harassed him. They did everything they could because he told them, I will not shoot a rifle. You will not put a rifle in my hands. Long story made short, they made him the Marine Corps calls them a corpsman, but the Army, medic called. This is what this gentleman did. People, from the time the battle started until they thought the battle was over and the Army came down from the cliff, they kept seeing bodies being lowered to the bottom. Body after body after body that was alive. And this gentleman did it for days. So, long story made short, he was awarded the Medal of Honor. A man that refused to shoot a rifle. And how we judge people when we shouldn't judge people, because just because they don't shoot a rifle don't mean they can't be a soldier or a Marine. Well, I will move on just a little bit if I could, please. Memorial Park at the southern end of the island is where all the Japanese soldiers and the American forces and Navy are buried that died on Okinawa. Now this is a beautiful place. If you can say death is beautiful, this is a beautiful, beautiful place. Well maintained, respected. When you go there, you get a sense of gratitude. And Peace Memorial Park. I don't know, has any of you ever been to Okinawa? We got to go one day. You been to Okinawa? When were you in Okinawa?
67, 70, 80, 71, 72, 84, 85.
What, Army, Marine Corps? Hoorah! Simplify.